My name is John Winter, and today we're going to be talking about preparing for growth in the age of AI. So I get one of the most exciting topics today, and excited to go through it. So for those of you that don't know me yet, I see a lot of friendly faces and some new faces as well. So my name is John Winter, and I have started 6 companies, so I absolutely love the entrepreneurial spirit present in this industry and in this room. I understand what it takes to build, to be the last one that gets paid, and everything that comes along with being an entrepreneur. I've also spent 20 years working on the cutting edge of new technology and helping highly regulated industries like financial services, insurance, and healthcare deploy this technology into their businesses in a safe way, including when lives are on the line in healthcare and when people's futures are on the line when it comes to insurance and financial services. I've personally led over $1 billion in transformation projects helping people leverage these technologies. And I have a high focus on what's going to drive ROI and benefits for you and your teams and your customers. So last year, I had the opportunity to present here in an awesome presentation where we got to talk about some of the incoming new LLM Gen AI capabilities, right? We talked about how this was going to start showing up in workflows. And everything we talked about did end up showing up in people's workflows last year. But these were small little helpers inside workflows. This year is where we're really starting to see the opportunity for AI in your businesses make a very big difference. And so we're really excited to go through the growth and the opportunities that we're going to see and how you all can think about it in your businesses. So, agenda from today, brief introduction, talk about how is AI really going to change things. Where are we seeing the real world impact today? Number 1, for agents. What are the tangible ways that you can use it in your business? Number 2, for FMOs and agencies and distribution. And number 3, for carriers as well. 4, we're going to talk about easy buttons. How do I actually get this working in my business quickly, compliantly, safely, scalably? And finally, we're going to do a little Q&A and hear from some industry leaders from the industry that are going to join me on stage. So really looking forward to that. All right, so I introduced myself. I want to also introduce the type of work that we do. I'm the CEO of a company called Kizen. We are the leading AI native platform purpose-built for insurance distribution and carriers. And we power the back office operations, agents, CRMs, and portals for some of the largest organizations in the space. When we think about AI, one of the philosophies that we have is this idea of what we call the triple win. First of all, AI is enabling us to do more. It's enabling us to do a better job for our members, our clients, our customers. Second of all, it's allowing us to grow our businesses faster, right, and more scalably. And thirdly, it's allowing us to save time. And when we can get those 3 things together, that's why there's so much conversation about what this technology can do. All right, is that better? Oh, wow, big difference. Thank you, appreciate it. All right, so we have 2 parallel AI narratives today. Yeah, it's a lot louder. Number 1 is that AI can do everything. That's not true. This is a myth, right? We see this, we see examples of this in the news, but when we look at it, it turns out that humans are doing almost all the work and AI is helping in little ways. So this is interesting. I don't think that's going to be true anytime soon. The second myth that we see is that AI can't help me today. Now, unfortunately, this is true for many of us. AI really isn't helping us. But my hope is that today's presentation is going to help make it a reality that AI can start helping each of you moving forward. So MIT did a study that emphasizes this point. They found that only 5% of AI initiatives make it out of pilots right now, right? So 95% of people that experiment with AI, nothing happens. 5% actually helps the business. So what were the commonalities of those who succeed? There were 2 main commonalities. Number 1 is they're working on the right use cases. And number 2 is they're working with teams that specialize in deploying this technology. Because really, I think that helps you understand where to focus. And so this is proof that this is only the beginning. So we talked about how AI is not able to do everything. And one of the things that I like to think about is how do we think about this technology that's still in its infancy? And so we have 3 fictional heroes on the screen here. We have Miranda from The Devil Wears Prada, we have James Bond, and we have Iron Man. And all of these people are able to accomplish superhuman things because they have great assistants that are force multipliers helping them. They don't do it alone, they do it as a team. James has Q and Moneypenny, Miranda has Emily and Andy, and Iron Man has Jarvis and Pepper. Yeah, I love that too. And so, let me go back here for a second. This is kind of said in a joking way, right? These are our fictional heroes, but if we look across business and we look across every aspect of our society, this is making the point that success doesn't happen alone. Success happens when you have a great team. But unfortunately, not everyone has assistants today for 2 big reasons. Number 1, great assistants are very expensive, and number 2, they're very hard to train. But what if everyone could have an amazing assistant? What could we all create together if we had someone as great as whichever one of the fictional heroes you want to choose and have assistants like that? This is the mental model of how I believe we should all be thinking about AI for the coming years. We should be thinking about where is it that an AI assistant could help me with this part of my business and enable me and my team to do more. Because with AI, everyone now is going to be able to have a great assistant. This is also a force multiplier for those of you that lead organizations. When you lead teams, AI assistants can give you both the individual flexibility to help individual team members, but it can also help with organizational safety, organizational compliance, alignment, shared direction. It can force multiply everything that your whole organization is doing. So now that all sounds great. Let's talk about real-world capabilities available today that we are seeing drive impact and have the opportunity to drive impact for you as we move forward. So let's start with the member and agent experience. What I like to think about is if you only had one client or member that you work with, imagine the TLC, the tender love and care that you're able to give them and the way that you could take care of them and how everything could be taken care of perfectly, right? Every single update, every single detail would be handled. However, as your business scales and you have hundreds or thousands of people that you work with, this becomes increasingly difficult to do and to maintain that high standard that you set. AI can come in and assist with your nurturing and follow-ups now. So when we analyze what is the best way to take care of our clients, there's 10, 15, or 20 touch points that you should be doing every year. Those range from things like happy birthday to things like AEP is beginning, we need to send out your pre-AEP survey, or a fact finder. So whether it's something that you send out from RetireFlow, whether it's something that you send out, to check in with people, whether it's a call that you schedule, whether it's a happy holidays, all of these have been possible to automate for a little bit now, but they've been a little challenging and they haven't been personalized. With AI, we now have the ability to send more personalized follow-ups and be able to really take care of each member and make sure that they're protected. Okay, in my history of almost 20 years of helping people with CRMs, no one has ever said, I love uploading data into my CRM. I've never once heard that, right? And so we have a meeting, with a client, and agents have told me that it takes between 15 minutes and 60 minutes for them or their assistant to upload all of the information right, that happened from that meeting. So what does that mean? We need to put in the medications, we need to note the current policies, we need to put in their pharmacies, we need to put in their doctors, we need to note anything else that they might be interested in, scheduling the next appointment, sending a follow-up email. It's a lot of work, right? It's a lot of work that has to happen after each time. And now, by taking the recordings of your meetings, whether it was virtual or whether it happened on an app in person at a kitchen table, and uploading those recordings, by the time you make it to your car, back from the kitchen table, or by the time you make it back from making your cup of coffee, all of those updates to your CRM can be done in 3 minutes. Yeah, woo! This is really cool. Like, this is one of the coolest things that I've seen in being able to really have a tangible application of technology to help you all every day. Because imagine if you take, let's say you're super speedy and you can do it all in 15 minutes. If you take that to 3 minutes, imagine what you can do with the other 12 now, right? You can do a lot to either enable other parts of your book or to bring more service to your client because you have an AI assistant helping you with this. This goes a little further, right? When we think about what do we do with that extra time that we have. The heart of what all of us in this room do from an insurance perspective is we make sure that our members and our clients are protected. So this has been an interesting time in the industry where many people are diversifying what they do. Right? This is called Medicarians, so a lot of people focus on Medicare, but people are moving into other lines of business. That's hard to do. It's hard to find the time to that. It's hard to learn to integrate these products into your workflow. An AI assistant can help. It can listen to that recording, and it can say, hey, they asked about, a final expense or a hospital indemnity plan, right? Is that something that you want me to send out an email and ask if they want to schedule a meeting on that? Or should we put some recommendations together? This also allows you to go further and move into things like annuities or life insurance if you want. So it expands the wealth of coverage that you're giving your clients. A better service for them, more opportunities for you as well. This is very interesting in the way it can be used. So all of this is possible today, and I want to show a brief video on what this can look like. So it's about 1.5 minutes. So we'll walk through this now. So this is launching an app on your phone. This is choosing the client and going ahead and recording that conversation. This is an 1 hour and 12-minute conversation. We're going to go ahead and upload that recording. All of this technology, of course, compliant, secure, uploads that, right? You can see, all right, 9:41, the assistant's processing the meeting. 9:44, the meeting summary for Bob is complete. And it analyzes everything that was done there. It compiles this conversation into a way that you can consume it and review it and approve it or edit. Here's the providers. Here's the medications. Here's the appointments. Here's the pharmacies. Right? Pretty cool. From there, it gives you an overall analysis, and based on what you chose to say, these are other products that I represent, it can analyze, based on all the information you have, whether any of these other products might be interesting. You approve it. Or say, no, I don't want to talk about that now. All of that information is then brought together, and it gives you a follow-up email that it generates. And we could send it now, right when you get back to the car, done with your coffee, or we can click send it in 2 hours. The best part about this is it's not living in isolation. It's living inside the workflow tool that you use every day. So all of that is updated, easily referenceable anytime, ready for the next meeting. This is real. This is available, and this is a game changer. And this is why when we hear the excitement about how AI can help, this is why there's excitement. And it brings us back to our core themes, right? They help us do more. They help us take better care of our clients and members. They help us grow our businesses faster because they save us time, right? So that triple win theme is pretty interesting there. So is that just quick feedback? Is there something interesting there? A little thumbs up, or we like that? We think that's interesting? Yeah, love that. So it's going to be a really interesting year, right? This is all fully available using all the stuff that you hear from all the foundational models. So it's very cool. We'll get there. So what was that? Yeah. So now let's jump into the back office experience, right? Because this is important for all of us that are agents as well. But for those of us that are running agencies, where can we have AI assist us tangibly to be able to help our overall business? So we're going to talk about 3 use cases across everyone's 2 favorite areas. Number 1, contracting and licensing, and number 2, commissions, right? So I mentioned at the beginning of this presentation that I've worked across healthcare, financial services, and insurance. And the level of complexity in what you all do in this industry is totally underappreciated by people who are not here, right? Because there are many people in this room that's businesses contract for dozens or hundreds of different carriers across lines of business. So that means contracting team members have to understand all of the rules for all of this, right? This is the most difficult onboarding process I've seen in my career by far. And so if you're running one of these organizations, how can we equip the contracting team with assistance that can help them? So first of all, we know that every single carrier has their own set of rules. Different lines of business have rules as well. Different states can have different rules. And when someone sends in a request, there's a lot of different data that needs to be present or could be missing. And so whether you're an agent trying to get your contract so that you can sell a specific product, or whether you're that agency, everyone wants to get people contracted as fast as possible. And so what we've been able to see by having AI assistants analyze the data that's coming in is we have been able to allow contracting teams to process 4 times as many contracts and reduce the time it takes to become ready to sell and licensed by 74%. Yes, and this is great. This is something we all want, and this is saving time, and once again, it's delivering better service. Right? So at the point of putting in the request, the validations can check, is everything present for this carrier? Right? Great use of AI helping. The next example that we have here is all of the data having to do with the contracting process. So the validation assistants help us understand, do we have the data needed to move someone forward? The right upline, right? A valid hierarchy, the right levels. We're not in a blackout window, any of that information. So that what gets to your contracting team is valid. But how do we also make it so that when it gets to your licensing or contracting team that they're able to quickly put the information in? AI is great at assembling all of the individual pieces of information that you need for that specific carrier and putting it on one screen so that everything can be together. But this is also important from the standpoint of putting together all of the information after someone is successfully licensed. Because when contracting is done right, commissions can be paid properly. So all of you that are in distribution and manage all this know there's a ton of data that goes into running your businesses, and AI assistants are really great at helping make sure all of this data ends up in the right place. Because when you do this right, the whole process goes so much smoother. Now let's talk about commissions. This is a very interesting developing area, and this does apply to everyone, agents, carriers, and agencies. Our AI assistants have been able to find over $1 million in commissions that were not paid or were paid improperly. This is a developing area. This is one of the most complicated areas that we are trying to apply AI to, but it's very interesting, and it's going to be an area that over the next couple years really helps us make sure that we get paid right. Because just like no one likes putting information into their CRM, my least favorite thing, even worse than that, is when I have to go through financial statements and figure out where did I get all the money I was supposed to get, right? It's not how the way we want to be spending time. It's not what we got in the business to do. So now as we exit this section talking about agencies, We can see examples where, once again, assistants are allowing our organizations to do more, to be more aligned, allowing our organizations to grow faster, put our people on the most valuable stuff, and also save time. All right, so this is from a carrier experience. I'm going to share 2 items here real quick for carriers that are going to be really interesting. So what if every producer had a customer success advisor in their pocket for every meeting to help them? So to me, when you think about having an AI assistant in your business, what's going to happen is this industry is going to start having a number of AI assistants that you use, that you plug and play into your business. And what's also going to happen is that you're going to be able to add skills to these AI assistants. So carriers are going to be able to have a skill inside a marketplace where if you sell that product, you're going to be able to add that in so that your assistant can help you understand that product. This is great when we're diversifying our business and us or our teams are learning a new product, learning what questions, that we need to be able to answer and how it fits in. So this is going to be a really interesting tool and developmental area. Now, what we're also going to see with carriers is we're going to see that carriers are going to apply this on the member side as well to help them get more out of their benefits, right? And be able to, help them stay healthier, which is going to be interesting as well. All right, so we've got our theme here. We're getting a better member experience. We're enabling all of you and going from there. So the thing about AI, kind of bringing this full circle before we open this up for some Q&A, is that only 5% of people, as we saw from the MIT study, are succeeding at putting this into their business and into their workflows. And we want to share an easy button with all of you to be able to make it easier for you all to do. And we're going to talk more about that with some industry leaders as well. Our platform is here to make it easier for you. The examples that we talked about today are not theoretical. They are part of what's making a difference day to day in some of the leading organizations in this industry. So Agent CRM, we're excited to announce that we have something called the Ultimate AI Assistant for Insurance Agents. And it's going to be something that you can plug into your workflow, that you can play with. And so in the coming weeks, that's going to start being made available. And people are already using it today. There's also an agency version. So if you manage an agency and you want to have that working well together. And then on the back office, Marketer Copilot to help with recruiting and helping people grow their book of business, Contracting Copilot to help with the licensing process, commissions, and of course a portal. So these are products that are available to you. There are also other great products in the industry that you're going to be able to see, and the use cases that we shared today. Whether you decide to come talk to us or you're working with other people, these use cases are ones that I hope you seriously look at and try to start playing with. Because 12 months from now, I would love to hear, whether it was with us or with someone else, how this has been able to impact and help. Because it's really cool. We are in the very early days of AI being able to help. This is an enormous opportunity. And each of you have made the investment of time and money to come here and hear about things like this. And so I hope that it's useful and I hope that it's able to help you all. Results that we're seeing, 30% more business closed on a per agent basis, 4 times faster contracting, and 90% time saved on commissions. And we're going to keep adding. We're going to keep innovating. You're going to see systems like ours. You're going to see other systems that are able to take what you have and sit in the background or help you develop new capabilities.
Hi, I'm Chris Hagerstrom with JSA. You can check us out at booth number 163. I've been in the Medicare business since 2005, so 21 years. And John was right. Our jobs are very difficult in this business, and it's very cool to see what AI is doing and how it's really kind of reshaping how we work as an agency in this market. So all cool stuff coming up.
Awesome, thank you. And we'll have Caroline introduce herself too.
Hey, good morning, everyone. I'm Caroline Marinas, and
You really got to go close.
Closer, is that better? Okay. So I, too, have been in the industry for 20 years. Wow. A little bit closer. I, too, have been in the industry for 20 years. And I started out on the health plan side, the carriers, and then I went to the FMO side and became an agent, also VP of sales at an FMO. So I understand what you go through very, very well, which was one of the forcing decisions when I came to Kizen, because I thought, wow, here's something that can really help agencies and FMOs scale and grow efficiently and very, very well in AI. And like John mentioned, that AI is just really starting, and I wanted to be part of that. So here I am.
Thank you, Caroline. So, Chris, question for you. Having been through many of these different transitions that we've seen over the 21 years, what is your thought on this transition?
It's necessary. You kind of alluded to this before, the industry, the Medicare industry, we're getting to an inflection point. And we're seeing a lot of our time squeezed because of all the chaos and turmoil and the things that we're seeing in the Medicare market. And we all fear October 1st and all the changes that are coming up every single year. Our time has never been more valuable than it is now. And with all of the drama that we're dealing with on a yearly basis, we need to find ways to get that time back as much as we possibly can. And the evolution of AI, I don't think it could have came at a better time. Like we need as much time back as we possibly can, and all the advances that are being done in AI with the Kizen system and others, it is hugely beneficial for us as an agency, for you guys as agents, to get that time back, to make sure that you're staying on top of everything you can do in your business. And ultimately, we all do it for the same reason, like John said before, and that's to make sure that our clients are better taken care of.
100%.
Yeah.
So great technology at a great time. Yep. And one of the things I really admire about JSA and the work that your team does is how you think about technology and investing in technology and the right technology. How are you thinking about that now? And what about all this is maybe most exciting to you?
So we've always invested in technology. We were one of the first customers that Connextra ever had for their multi-carrier platform. They're great partners of ours. And we know that having the right technology and not necessarily, people always ask me do you guys have the best technology? I don't think we have the best technology. I think we have the right technology. And you guys will see it when you go upstairs. There's a ton of vendors up there. There's a ton of booths and things. We've taken the time to invest in the technology that we know is going to help the agent ultimately save time. That's one of the biggest things that we could do at JSA is help you guys save times in your day, whether it be our marketing system, whether it be our Kizen CRM system, what have you. So we're going to continue to make those investments. And one of the biggest investments we're making right now in partnership with John is how do we actually take AI, the big scary AI, the thing that everyone thinks is going to replace us as agents. It's not. It's going to help us save time and be more efficient. And we're putting a whole ton of resources behind that right now to make sure that when we have the agent that's available and comes out and is available to everybody that's in this room, if you guys are working with us, we want it to be the biggest change in your business that you've seen over the last 10 years. And that last 10 years involves COVID, and that's when we all switched from paper apps to digital apps. This is going to be a bigger change than that has ever been. And it's very exciting, and we're full steam ahead on it.
Awesome. Love that perspective. And we're going to get the questions coming in from the audience here in a minute. But right before we switch to that, Caroline, after your 20 years kind of in the industry as well, what are you most interested and excited about with the transitions that we're seeing?
So for me, it's always been agents helping them scale and helping them grow. So with that being said, the CRM and the technology that we do, this is going to help you retain your book of business, will help you see your book of business. And, when we were talking about the AI assistant, help you cross-sell, because the agents that cross-sell, and I've been preaching this for years, the agents that cross-sell are the ones that are going to stay in the business, are the ones that are going to continue to grow. You'll get more referrals, and you keep your clients, right? Because for you, understanding that the most important thing for you are your members or your clients, and for us, it's making sure that, the agencies, and FMOs get everything that they need to give you the tools that are right for you.